You're watching the Wake Up to the Vibe show. I'm Joe Altieri, your host, and I have a very special guest with me today. And would you please welcome Jennilee Toner? She's the creator of the Hot Warrior Yoga. Can't wait to hear what that's all about. And the international yoga instructor and author of The Perfect, and if I say this right, Chaturanga?
Yes, you did.
I got it right, Chaturanga.
Good job.
I'm doing all right, right?
Yeah.
So I want to start there. Let's, if you don't mind, I'm a little all over the place. It's the nature of my interviews. I know you're on a time frame here, so I'm going to kind of keep things moving along. But Jenny, if you don't mind, just give me a briefing, a little bit about you, where you're from, where are you now, what brought you there?
All right. Well, it's so funny because you said it so perfectly, the name of the book. And it's basically the name of a posture that's a push-up, right? And I used to be in the military. I was a medic, then an MP, and then I was in drill sergeant school. And I was an acting drill sergeant one morning, and I was walking down the lane, and I was failing everyone because they weren't doing the perfect push-up. Now, this was over 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And then I did a whole life change. I used to be a deputy sheriff. I'm from Boston. And I did a whole life change, spent 20 years practicing yoga, teaching yoga. And then I write a book on the perfect push-up, which shows you I haven't changed at all.
So were you in the military?
I was. I did 6 years National Guard.
Thank you very much for your service.
Yes, thank you.
So I would be the guy doing the push-up and you'd be standing on my back?
Yes, I'd be yelling at you. Yes, yelling at you, making you feel horrible about yourself, which if I could do it again, if I could be a drill sergeant now, I'd be so motivating and positive.
That's right. Feel good about yourself, not horrible about yourself.
Yes, and I'd still be hardcore, but I would be very positive and loving and sweet and kind about it.
That's awesome. And so where are you originally from?
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. Yep, born and raised.
And where's home today?
Upstate New York. So I'm outside of Albany, in Amsterdam, New York.
And you're a yoga instructor at Alpenhaus?
Yes, I teach in Albany, and then I teach in a few different places, and I'm at Alpenhaus Fitness, which I love, and I am the program director there for the fitness classes, for the yoga teachers, fitness teachers, Zumba, spin. Great group we have there at Alpenhaus.
Great group. Shout out to Alpenhaus. Andy Heck, go Andy. Andy's like my idol. The guy, he runs 100 miles. He runs in every country. He flies all over the place. And we exchange book ideas. He's a big book reader. And he great guy. You're working for a very good company.
He sends out every Monday an email to all of us. And it's so positive tips, shares what's going on in the company. There's always a book, like you said, a book or a quote or a video. Every Monday without fail, we get this beautiful email from Andy Heck.
You just gave me an idea. I'm going to reach out to Andy and do a show on leadership because he'd be a great guest to have to talk about good leadership. So, all right. Author of the book, for those that just joined, I'm with Jennilee Toner and The Perfect Chaturanga.
Yes.
Right? Now, you're creator of Hot Warrior Yoga.
Yes.
That's what people say when they look at me.
Yeah.
Hot Warrior.
Yes, that's what they say. We'll get you a t-shirt. I got some extra t-shirts. I'll send you one.
2XL, please.
Yes, I got some.
What is Hot Warrior Yoga? Why is it different from any other yoga?
Well, about 10 years ago, I wanted to help more the Bikram people, which are it's a hot, hard yoga that's 26 postures every time you go. And then I wanted to get those people to do the flow yoga, right? Because I love both. So I was part of that first wave of people that put the two systems together, right? So to offer where people that love one style of yoga to be able to come and join another and feel comfortable and at home. So a bunch of us did that, and we made these fusions, and now there are tons of them. And Hot Warrior Yoga is one of them. The people trained in Hot Warrior Yoga say it's the best of both hot hatha and hot vinyasa. But that's what they were trained to say. It's the best.
Is that what they say when they're leaving the class? It's the best.
It's the best, of course. It's a good detox, good sweat.
Well, some of the hot yoga, they heat up the room.
Oh yeah, that's the style. It comes from that style. They heat up the room to 103 degrees. That's Bikram yoga, 103 degrees. Now, hot vinyasa, they'll be about 95.
Wow.
Still very hot.
Any health requirements before you, like I go to the sauna when I go to the gym before it was closed. I love the sauna. I could sit there for a half an hour and just take it in, and that's where I kind of do some meditation and stuff. But are there any health risks of going into
yes. Some high blood pressure, of course, you'd want to take care of yourself. Pregnancy, going upside down if you have any kind of glaucoma or stuff like that in a hot room. But there's certain things, and they will always list it on their websites, of course.
Okay.
The whole thing about yoga is you create your own internal heat. So you don't have to go to hot yoga. You can you could just do yoga in your living room because you create the internal heat,
Right.
So going to a hot yoga class just amps it up a little bit for, detox, for health, for healing. But you do not need heat to practice yoga. Of course, we know that. Yeah.
I did yoga once in my life, and it was, it was like yoga for 3-year-olds. and I was working up a sweat and I wasn't even doing anything. Right. I was like holding this position and I started to sweat. I go, how can this make me sweat,
Right. Because muscle contractions, holding is one of the most amazing things you can do to yourself. Hold yourself in time and space in a posture. All your muscles are wrapping in isometric contraction. So you can work your muscles, concentric and eccentric, but to hold and wrap and breathe and try not to think about anything else, that takes a lot of inner fire.
Yeah. Well, I recently had a trainer showing me how to do different kinds of planks. Is it planks, right?
Yes.
I could do 30 seconds and that's it. I'm like, it looks so easy, but until you do it. Yeah.
Just holding yourself up against gravity, because gravity is that's the aging aspect. When we think about age, time, it's actually a lot has to do with gravity pulling us down. So we want to be young and buoyant, and then you want to defy gravity, right? Hold yourself up in those planks.
I'm feeling good about myself.
Yes.
It's working. Your class is already working.
Already, yes. 30 seconds leads to 2 minutes. That's what you're shooting for, 2-minute plank.
Let me ask you, and we're going to talk a little bit about techniques. And again, I'm respecting your time, so I'm trying to move along quickly here. But is there, I mentioned I went to yoga for a 3-year-old, and I was joking, but I was probably one of the older folks in the room. Is there like right now, parents are at home with their kids, and is there an age and maybe specific yoga exercises that you do for children?
Oh yeah, there's so many resources out there for parents for yoga for kids, and it's different age groups, because what works for the little ones is going to be different than the middle schoolers or the high schoolers. They really need their own kind of thing, but there's so many resources on YouTube. You can Google it. But that's what's really changing the world. Us older folk, we're doing yoga and it's good for the mind, good for the body. But the kids, they're learning yoga so young, it's going to change the world. They're kinder, sweeter, more loving little beings, because we're getting it's in the schools, it's in the after school programs. Yoga is everywhere. Yes, the adults had to fall in love with it to bring it to the kids, but it's the kids that are doing it, and it's going to change their whole mindset for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I didn't even think of this when I asked you to be on the show, but I'm thinking about it now. What a great at-home activity for mom and dad to get the kids, they're doing schoolwork, they're playing, they're running around, they're probably driving their parents crazy.
Yeah.
What a way to align everybody and say, yoga hour or
yoga hour. Yeah.
Yoga hour.
Yeah, the little ones you can do it for about 30 minutes. They have they really want to run around. So you get them spin out of control. Then they can do stretching and breathing. And for them, they breathe like animals, like the little ones. You'll say, okay, let's breathe like a bear. Let's breathe like a bee. Let's breathe like a snake. And it's all breathing techniques we do in yoga that sound like animals, So they love it. And they'll come up with like animals, like, let's be like some dinosaur name. You're like, oh, I don't know how they breathe. But you get them to imagine how would they breathe. And it's very interactive.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting. So you're a yoga instructor, you have yoga classes. How has this coronavirus affected you and your business? I mean, I'm going to throw a number out there. You don't need to tell me, but let's say you have 50 students that you train on a regular basis. Where are you today? You're on their TV screen in the living room.
Yes, that's what we're doing. I looked at my calendar and I stopped teaching on March 12th. And then because that's when like the studios and the gyms and the classes were stopped being taught. And I went on to Zoom. I started teaching my first Zoom class, I think like the 15th or something like that. And now I do 3 to 5 classes a day. And so it's usually 1 or 2 meditations and maybe 2 to 3 classes, fitness, cardio, and yoga. But I'm doing it all out of my house, free, and people are tuning in, and wow. That's how we're doing it. That's how we're staying connected. That's how we're staying fit and healthy. Like they say, the COVID-19 is the new freshman 15. Like you gotta go into your house and come out. How heavy we're gonna come out after this?
Yeah. Well, I saw a post on Facebook and it said, when this is over, the TV show, My 600-Pound Life, do I call them or are they going to reach out to me? Because I buy 6 months worth of groceries. I eat it in 6 days.
Yes. And it's just you and the refrigerator I have a very intimate relationship with the refrigerator, Like we can't hug anyone else. We hug the refrigerator.
I'm going to keep that in mind.
Right. Because, well, the thing about it is many of us, our constitutions are in such a way that we are comfort eaters. You know what I'm saying? I know I am. I have a constitution, it's a very like dense, heavy, athletic constitution. But when it's imbalanced, this is an Ayurvedic study. It tends to want to just eat for comfort, for emotional support. And a lot of us are stuck at home and we have anxiety, we have fear. That's why the yoga works, the breathing works. But for many of us, the eating works,
Yeah. Well, that's a great segue because that's where I was going with this. Everybody is dealing with anxiety, stress, fear of finances, fear of their job, fear of everything, and then stressing out because they don't have that social interactivity with others. You go for a walk today, you don't even want to, you say hi from, hopefully 6 feet away, right? But it's creating this internal anxiety. Kind of touch on that, on how we can help our viewers and our listeners deal with this stress and anxiety through yoga and meditation.
Right. Before, I'd like to touch on what you just said about going for a walk and you see a fellow human and you stay social distance. But I noticed yesterday on my dog walk, I've been saying I get a little jokey and I'm like, look at us outside. You know what I'm saying? And people are like, I know, but it's connected. At least connected because we know we're either being out here naughty. We're either naughty because we're supposed to be in the house, or we're walking the dogs. This thing going on, but we are human. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not us against each other anymore. Like this is the most beautiful thing. I will segue into the meditation for a moment, but I'm in acupuncture school now. So I go into New York City once a week to go to classes.
Okay.
And the last day I was in there was like the 9th or 10th or something. It was the last Tuesday I went in before we went on to online. And I remember being on the subway and everyone was guarded. You could tell no one wants to, like the shirt, no one wants to touch the railways or the holding things. But I felt a sense of community because we humans were starting to battle something else. It wasn't me against you, you against me. It didn't matter about the color of our skin or our tattoos or whatever it was, the style of our hair.
Right.
I already felt the sense of community. And that was back like March 8th or 9th. You know what I'm saying? Because it was already starting to happen that this is going to attack all of us. We are in this together. Yeah. It's not, and you can feel that when you're walking out on the street, just walking your dog. Remember, we're all in this together and we're all scared and we're all confused and we all are losing our jobs. So that's yoga. Yoga means union. Yoga means union, right?
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, mind, body, spirit, mind, body, breath. But it really, the collective, like community, like that's yoga. Like us being together in this. And this is it's revealing how much community is out there. Yes. Like what you're doing, what we're connecting people that weren't connected 3 weeks ago or last week or yet 2 days ago or whatever, you know?
You're absolutely right. And with the technology, I mean, it's just crazy. I was telling you before we went live on Facebook that I was hooking up some new technology last night. I'm not there yet. I got to figure it out. But what we're going to be able to do with this show, we're going to do game shows in your living room.
Yes.
It's just, it's amazing. Like, you literally can have, you know, with Zoom, you could have 20 people on your TV screen. You know, I have a guest tomorrow. She was telling me about her Friday night cocktail party.
Yes.
Is now on a TV screen with 10 of her friends.
I love it.
You know?
I love it.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
There's a great meme, and it shows, it's like a Scooby-Doo thing. It's like, let's see who's really behind COVID-19.
Right.
And they take the bag off the head, and it's Zoom.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Because Zoom, if we didn't have Zoom, we would all be super isolated.
Yeah, no, you're not kidding. But, you know, I'm going to go back to when you were talking about when you go for a walk and it's union. Isn't it amazing when you go for a walk now and somebody smiles and says good morning? It has the greatest feeling.
Yep.
Before, you were in a grocery store, someone said good morning, you went, hey, how are you? And you focused on what you were going to get, and let's get out of here, right?
Yeah.
Now you embrace that hello, and
right.
And if you know them and you don't know them, it doesn't matter. It feels good.
Yeah, because it's like a verbal hug.
Yeah. Can you say that again? And next time, can you use my name?
Yeah, can you use my name, please? Please help me. I feel lonely. I need some space. Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, I love your hair. You mentioned the hair. You got good hair.
I got good hair. And the messier, the better. And actually, the 3 weeks of not getting it cut or colored is actually looking good. So
yeah, but you're a yoga instructor. You could do that. You could just say you were upside down all morning.
Exactly. Rock and roll, man.
That's right. So what is you know, I don't know if you're willing to do this live. I want to give me a technique. Give our listeners a technique, something simple that, you know, if I'm having an anxiety attack today because they took the money out of my checking account and I didn't want them to.
Right.
You know, because that happens. A lot of people, like myself, I have automatic withdrawals. Yeah. And now you got to look and say, okay, who's, you know, something you paid last year was on auto collect, right?
Yes.
It just came out and you went, what? You know?
I know. Well, let me tell you, the most calming thing you can do, I'm going to share 2 techniques. One is super simple. Your exhales will always relax you. That's their job. The exhales take away unnecessary, like waste. Okay. The waste that's inside, right? Okay. It takes it away. So it takes away mental waste, emotional waste, physiological waste there. But your exhales, that's their job. It's to take away anything that doesn't serve you. If it doesn't serve you, exhale it out, right? Let it go and let it flow, is a saying, right? So
just that. If it doesn't serve you, exhale it out.
Exactly.
What a great quote.
Right. Yeah. If it doesn't serve you, which a lot of our mental stuff doesn't serve us. Lot of, right? It doesn't. And emotional.
You're right.
A lot of our emotional stuff doesn't serve us because it's from the past. You know what I'm saying? So really, you're exhaling anything from the past, what you just ate, what you just thought. You know, that's why you want to have a good sweat every day as well, because you want to exhale, you want to sweat. Crying is good. Pooping and peeing is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And that's all.
Crying, pooping, and peeing. It's beautiful.
Crying, pooping, and peeing. That's COVID-19 for right there in a nutshell.
I love it.
But exhaling is part of that quality of breath that's actually is in control of that. Elimination. So you want to exhale down. So through your feet if you're standing, through your butt if you're sitting, whatever's touching the ground, it's almost like a grounding wire. You want to ground down, and you do that with your exhales. Always. That's why, and you want to and do it audibly. Feel it at the back of your throat. Ha. Right? Because that will stimulate your vagus nerve, which is in charge of stimulating your parasympathetic nerve. I know I'm talking anatomy here.
Hey, no, we're here to learn.
But that's your rest, digest, and restore aspect of your nervous system, right? You have fight or flight, and you have rest and digest. In order to amp up rest and digest, you want to like make noise at the back of your throat. So humming, singing at the top of your lungs in the shower or in your car, or now you're alone all the time in your house, so you can just sing. Right?
Let it out.
Right. I always think of like Jerry Maguire, Tom Cruise. Remember that moment to Tom Petty when he's like free falling? You could feel it through the movie screen. That's why it brought tears to most of our eyes, because you could feel the stimulation that he was creating through the back of his throat. So any kind of noise you can make, groaning, moaning, singing, chanting. That's why chanting is good, you know, but it's good for the vagus nerve. And you guys can Google that. Okay. The vagus nerve is amazing for relaxation, right? Yeah, so you exhale down, make a little noise, right? And it will calm you. Do that 3 to 5 times, 10 times if you need it. It will calm you for sure.
I love it. I love it. Exhale and release what doesn't serve you.
Yes, let it go and let it flow.
Let it go and let it flow, baby. I love it.
Right?
You know, 7 a.m. is not so bad. Like,
no, it's not. Let's get going. You know,
I think I'm gonna have you on every morning for 5 minutes just so I can get it right. You know,
right? I can be your morning guest meditator.
You might be a regular. Be careful what you wish for.
Well, I'm having a good time, so you know. And that's the thing, you know. 7 a.m. I was like, listen, I only have 10 minutes. I only have 15 minutes. We're already like a half an hour in. I'm like, what? What time? What's time?
That's right. Coffee with Joe. It's all good. You know, I read a lot of motivational books and self-help books. I've been a junkie for years. Everything from Wayne Dyer to Seth Godin, Tony Robbins. I love this stuff, you know, and it's mind conditioning. And a lot of people always say to me, you know, why are you always in a good mood? Why are you always happy? Well, I always say, well, God has blessed me. I always start there with gratitude, right?
Yes.
And then I try to practice what a lot of these motivational people tell you is like focus on gratitude. Yes. So I want to ask you a question. And I'm going to kind of switch gears from yoga to meditation.
Yep.
Okay. One of the things I read years ago, I still have it on my refrigerator today, is a vision board.
Yes.
And meditate on your vision board of having all the things you vision in your life, spirituality, family, financial stability, but actually have pictures of, like if you don't own a house and you want to own a house, a picture of the house you would love to own, right?
Yep.
Examples. What can you tell me about meditation? Do you incorporate any type of vision meditation? I don't even know if that's a term or if it's a segment of meditation.
Yep. Well, because meditation is coming into the now. Like, you know, you want to be in the present moment as much as you can. And our minds like to be in the future. They like to be in the past, right? That's where the minds like to play, the two fields. And you want to bring the mind into the present moment where all creation is happening. Like creation is happening now. Like when we talk about God is here now.
Yeah. Okay?
And then now is now. It gets pretty.
Yeah. The power of now, right?
Yeah, the power of now, because you always have to be now. Like you can't, like 2 minutes, 2 seconds ago is already the past.
Yeah.
It's already dead. It's already dead energy. It doesn't have any life in it.
Right.
Life is now. You're my reality now. Right. So that's the thing about the vision board, is act as if, you know, where the eyes go, where the eyes go, the body will follow. What you focus on, you will achieve. But in the present moment is your reality. So if you can act like that is your house, you'll gain the feeling of what it feels like to live in that house in your vision board. That feeling is what attracts that which is out there. Yeah. You have to act as if in this present moment. You want to be happy? I am happy. You want to be rich? I am rich. Okay. Like you have to do, it's the I am, because if you're always like, I want, you're always going to want, right? I am. It is very powerful, high vibration statements. You just mentioned gratitude. I just read something. The virus is a very low frequency. Viruses are very low frequency when you think of hertz, like the hertz of the earth, you know what I'm saying? And gratitude, and it's heartfelt gratitude, not just like thank you. It's deep, heartfelt gratitude has
Correct.
a high frequency. And the article that I read was because then the virus can't live in an environment with that high frequency, right? And there was so many frequencies they talked about, but the one that was attainable, I felt, that we could practice was what you just said. Heartfelt gratitude. Cultivate it, feel it in the now, you know what I'm saying? Like keep it with you, because it's a very high frequency that they say according to the study, the virus can't survive in that frequency.
Yeah. Well, they recommend that for cancer patients.
Yes.
You know, if someone's dealing with cancer, their mindset and how they control their serotonin levels and their dopamine can affect the outcome to some degree, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Excellent.
Yeah,
well, listen, you and I could tell we could go on all day long.
Yes,
and I know you said, Joe, I got 15 minutes. I think I had you for 35, 40 minutes.
I love it. I love it.
Why? Let me ask you, why do you do what you do?
I'm a natural born teacher, first of all, is number one. If you ask, when I was a little kid, what do you want to play? I always wanted to play school, right? I had the chalkboard. I was always the teacher. So there's that drill sergeant in me. So I'm doing what I was put on this earth to do, is to teach, you know what I'm saying? It just comes natural to me. But I'm also a student. I'm learning all the time, because in order to teach, I want new information to bring. So I get to study. I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. I'm a super cool nerd.
You are a super cool nerd. And I've only known you for 35 minutes.
But yeah, a cool nerd, but still a super nerd. You know, maybe that's what I am. I'm a super nerd. Super nerd.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
I love learning, and I love sharing, and I love supporting each other. I'm a big fan of like people knowing, I guess, how awesome they are, like how awesome we all are. That's always been my way. Like how can we elevate each other higher? Like, you know, I guess plug into source, God, you know, plug into source, know how, like there's always this energy you can tap into. And then you share that with everybody, because they can do it too. I think that's what it is. It's the whole teach someone how to fish. You know what I'm saying? Like you too can be awesome. I know it.
Right. Well, you know, there's a couple quotes, and I can't even tell you who. I read so many different things. I don't remember. My memory is horrible. But they said that, you know, listen, life is defeating enough. Why do you want to defeat yourself by saying, I can't, I'm stupid, I'm not able to do that, I don't have the ability to do that? Life is already against you. Mm-hmm. Tell yourself you can. You know, the beautiful thing about I can and I can't is they're both right when you use that term, right?
Right. The power of the mind.
Yeah.
We're very powerful beings, like no doubt. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the power of words, like, and be impeccable with your words. Like that's the whole thing. Is because like in the present moment, back to that, like that's when you're creating. So you want to create your reality, but as if it's happening right here, right now, going back to that point. But the power of your words sets up for it's like a trickle effect, a vibration, a wave. What you say, how you feel right here, right now, that's your whole day. Go for it. Okay.
Yeah. You know what? You have fantastic energy.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time. I crossed one of your videos on Facebook, and I watched it for a few minutes, and I'm like, she knows her stuff. Yeah. I don't need amateurs on this professional show that I'm bringing to the living room through Facebook Live.
Yeah, I love it. I'm glad I fit
the beauty of it is that people are watching, and this is going to be archived so people can watch it a year from now.
Yes.
But thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate you.
You're doing good work, because this is what people need. Like you have your people tuning in from their living rooms, from their kitchens. We need to stay connected. So you are playing an important part of this whole community. We're going to get through this together. That's the only way we're going to get through this, is together. And you're playing a very important part. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's Jennilee Toner. Yes, I got to get one of those hand clappers that have like 5 minutes. Jennilee Toner, creator of Hot Warrior Yoga, international yoga instructor, and author of The Perfect Chattanooga.
Chaturanga.
Chaturanga. I got it right 2 times earlier. Chaturanga.
You're
Awesome.
regressing, Joe. You're regressing.
Yeah, I didn't finish my coffee.
Yeah, drink some more coffee.
I'm going to let you go. I'm going to wrap up a few things with my listeners and my viewers. Thank you so much.
You, we'll talk again.
You're going to be a regular.
Okay, I'm signed on.
Love it. Love it. You could go ahead. I don't even know how to like disconnect. I'll say.
I just leave the meeting.
Bye.
When Elvis left the building, Jennilee is leaving the meeting.
Bye, Jennilee. Thank you so much. Take care.